Hey guys, and welcome back to another review. Today we are going to be talking about Black Clover episode 84, and this was a really good episode. I'm a little late on this, but the wait was worth it for me. I like this episode a lot, if not for the actual story, because it really was just a big battle, and that was pretty cool, but for the animation, which was phenomenal. So in this episode, it was the final match of the tournament to decide who's going to be in the Royal Knights or whatever, and it's Yuno's team up against Rill's team, and it's just balls to the walls craziness the entire episode, more or less. You got Yuno going all out, you got Rill going all out, you got Rill's teammates being like, listen, Rill's been carrying us this entire time. We gots to do something that'll make us look good. Otherwise, we will never get picked, and that's not good for them. I don't think they're gonna get picked. But yeah, as I was saying, the animations in this episode were really, really spot on. And honestly, I think, it's one of the best animated episodes out of the entire series, in my opinion. And I think they did this probably on purpose because Rill's magic is very, very specific, and it works very well for when they animate it very, very well themselves. Sometimes animes will do different kind of not art styles, but they'll animate it slightly different to kind of show, hey, this is an important point in the story, or this is an important battle, or moment in general. And one that I can think of is Naruto Shippuden. Well, regular Naruto did this a little bit as far as just changing the animation a little bit compared to what it normally is. But Naruto Shippuden specifically did this a lot. And I honestly, it can go two ways. It can go the way that this episode of Black Clover went, where it's just phenomenal. The colors are vibrant, the characters look great, and all of that jazz. And then it can go the pain fight with Naruto in Naruto Shippuden, where everything's just a mess. It looked like, theoretically, it could have been a really cool looking fight because they changed the art style to make it look more cinematic, I guess. But then you get these weird goofy faces from both Naruto and Pain. It killed the fight, despite it being just a really cool fight overall. I don't know, it just didn't do it, but I'm not here to review Naruto Shippuden. I am here to review Black Clover, and that, I can say, did a very good job this week. So I've talked about him a little bit here and there as he's kind of come and gone, but Rill's magic is super, super cool. I love that it's super versatile. It's basically just, it's as powerful as he makes it in his head, because obviously it's painting magic or whatever it's called, and it is just a really cool magic. I wonder what the limitations of his magic really are, because he can basically copy any element, so that's one thing. And then on top of that, he can make just general things. He makes that god thing majigger that kind of looks like Zeus. At one point, he kind of turns I think it's fire and ice or water or something like that, and then they kind of form two hands clutching each other to trap Yuno. And so it's really versatile. So I'm wondering if he loses his painting brush and the palette that he has. If he loses those, he can't use them at all. He can't use the magic at all, or whether there's just I don't know. It seems like the sky's the limit for him, and I love his magic so much. And honestly, the fact that this episode was so well animated is, I'm glad that they took the time to make it look so good, because if they had done a crappy job of animating the episode, with Rill being one of the central characters in this episode, it really would have just killed all momentum that's been going up to this point. And I don't know, it's just really sucky if they had done that. Luckily they did not, and they did a very good job animating it, and Rill is a painting person, so it makes super sense that this episode would need to be looking amazing. In their fight, so Rill's a captain, so obviously they need to have somebody really powerful. Yuno takes the lead right away in this fight and goes right up against Rill, and they're kind of going back and forth, and they're hitting each other and whatever. But in order to really stand up to Rill, Yuno finally unleashes that, we see it in the intro, but it's this fairy form thingamajig. It's basically his answer to Asta's anti-magic form, and it's when I really don't like his little pixie girl. I think she's kind of annoying. I like the idea of him having a little familiar thing, but I think she's a little annoying. And also, I don't know if it's ever been brought up. I mean, maybe I just haven't been paying attention too much. I'm coming to the full realization that people can see her. They never really, like, she's ignored so often, especially by Yuno, that I never really thought about other people being able to see her. But then she has an argument with the butler of Rill, so people must be able to see and hear her. In any event, Yuno finally goes into this, like, giant fairy form or whatever, and he does this by merging with his, I think her name is Phil, Uncle Phil. He merges with his little fairy girl, and he gains like kind of a crown thing on one hand with a wing, and he looks really cool. He also gets a major magic boost, and that impresses everybody, and kind of really pisses off Asta, because Asta's seeing, well, like, he might have his anti-magic form and is starting to get good at it, but clearly he would probably be crushed by any captain. And here you have Yuno, who's going to toe-to-toe with Rill, who may not be the strongest captain, but he's still a captain and really, really impressive. So it's crazy. But yes, in this form, Yuno is going toe-to-toe with Rill. They're exchanging giant laser beam blasts, and ultimately, Yuno's team wins, but kind of by a technicality. The magic in the area is so intense that it's not only melting the mountain that they're on, but also it ends up shattering Rill's crystal that he was basically just keeping with him, because obviously he's the best person to protect it. But at the same time, it seemed like he really forgot about it and he just didn't care anymore, and he was just going in for the fight, trying to create that special masterpiece, and ultimately it cost him the fight. So yeah, Yuno's team ultimately wins the tournament, closing it all out. He ends up kind of visiting Asta in the infirmary. Kind of briefly, at the very least, to drop off Noelle. And Yuno is, I like their relationship. I've said this before, but I definitely see kind of that divide. Yuno is so powerful right now, and Asta's very much seeing that he could use a power boost himself, and so he's pretty pissed. And he kind of makes that, like, vow again. He's going to be the Wizard King, not Yuno. He's going to get stronger. Yuno kind of makes a bit of a backhanded thing, like, I don't feel like being followed or something, or caught up to. Whatever. But I do really like that now Asta is not kind of overpowered anymore necessarily. He's overpowered, but, like, he still has that goal to reach, as opposed to him being like, oh, well, he's just super powerful, and that's it. So yeah, now once again, Asta's got something to reach for beyond just the, oh, he's going to be Wizard King thing. So now that the tournament is over, it's time to choose who's going to be part of these Royal Knights or whatever, and they get a pretty dumb speech from the actual King of Clover Kingdom. Everybody's still whispering, like, why can't Nova Crova... Everybody's whispering, like, oh, why can't the Wizard King just be our king? But he gives a kind of a crappy speech, and then Julius gives a pretty decent speech. And then they all get dismissed and are told, listen, you'll be notified if you make it in. They're not doing this based on who won the tournament. They just wanted to see who could do what. And they'll pick whoever's best for the job, essentially. On top of that, they kind of use this tournament clearly to kind of draw out whoever might have been being used by the Eye of the Midnight Sun, and that was obviously Longris. But there might be more secret spies or unwitting spies, so they got to keep their eyes out. The final major thing in this episode is Julius confronting Zora, and it becomes very clear that Julius knew the entire time he was not Zerx. I never thought for a moment that he was. That was basically a given. I'm pretty sure that Julius gave him a look right from the beginning. But it's very clear. Zora knew probably. He just had he had in the back of his head that Julius probably knew. And they kind of have a chit-chat. And it turns out that, lo and behold, Julius was the mage that teamed up with Zara, Zora's father, and, well, that's kind of a no-brainer. Zara in the backflash mentioned that it was a powerful mage with time magic, and Julius is a powerful mage with time magic, so duh. But the real hitch here, the real kind of twist, isn't that, oh, Zora isn't Zerx? Oh my god. It's that he actually apparently is a magic knight to begin with anyways. So theoretically, he could have shown up, or at the very least turned out with his own cloak on. Or I guess he would have had to sign up as himself at that point. But it's weird to think that he is actually a Magic Knight. I always thought he was going to be an outsider that eventually joined a Magic Knight squad, probably the Black Bulls, which maybe that's his squad to begin with. Who knows? I might be right about that, actually. I feel like I saw something. Either way, he is a Magic Knight already, and they kind of leave it at that. But yeah, I like this episode a lot. I thought it was great action, great animation. I can always deal with more Zora, because he's pretty cool, and Julius is pretty cool too. I like a lot of the characters in this show. But yeah, I enjoyed this episode quite a bit because of the animation, the battling, and all that. What did you guys think? Let me know down below in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell. That way you'll get all the notifications when I upload. I will see you guys in another video. So long!